Why don't we go ahead and get started? Hi everyone, my name is Rose. I am a fellow here at CFES Brilliant Pathways. It is wonderful to see all of your faces. I know we have a lot of Mariah students and some Crown Point students. Great to see you all. And happy Early College and Career Awareness Week. So we are on Wednesday. Today is Dress for Success. So I wore something that I might wear to an interview. And today we're going to be talking about financial literacy. So I will let our guest speaker, Ellen Bouchard from Dannemora Federal Credit Union, talk to you a little bit more about what that is, but thank you all for joining us. And Ellen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Ellen Bouchard. I'm the Business Development Officer for Dannemora Federal Credit Union. And one of the really fun things I get to do is do financial literacy, which is basically teaching students of all ages on the importance of how to budget their money, how to work with their money, and how to make their money work for them rather than you always working for money. So I'm going to give you some hints on how to be successful in that area. And I actually am also going to do a little bit of fact finding. So I have some questions for you guys so that you can tell me what you think about money and how you can get to where you want to go. I have been with Dannemora for about 4 years, and my job is not to be in my office. I'm in my office today, but my job is to be out in the public, teaching not only children, but businesses and adults about financial literacy. So whether it's helping you to get that new bike you want or that new game, or helping you figure out ways to get into college or buy your first home, or maybe start your own business. That's what I do. I do that all the time. And normally I'm out meeting and greeting people. The sad part is that with COVID, I've had to do a lot of that from home. And I do a lot of Zoom meetings. I have up to 5 and 6 Zoom meetings a day. So I'm very excited when I can actually be in front of everyone. But I like to look at being people's financial partner. So if you have a goal or you have a question, that's what I'm out there for. And I've been doing this for over 30 years. I put 3 children through college, so I've had to, as your parents will say someday, that darn FAFSA form that you have to fill out so you can get into college. I've had to do that as well. So hopefully today we can get you on the right path so that you can meet your goals for your future, whether that be a career, a new house, or that fancy Lamborghini that you want parked in your yard.
Great. Thank you so much, Ellen. So can you maybe explain a little bit more about what financial literacy is? What do those words mean?
Well, financial literacy is basically understanding how to make your money work for you and to help you make good financial decisions. Teaching you about different tools that can help you make those decisions, like how important a budget is. So, for example, if you got that $20 in that birthday card, maybe you do spend some of it, but make sure you put a little bit away so that you can always hit that goal. Maybe your goal is getting a new bike this summer. So, or it might be eventually starting to put away to get your own car. The idea is the fact that you use your money wisely. It's not always an instantaneous thing, like I have this money, so I got to go blow it. Be able to always have that little bit of a buffer so that, you know what, when that deal comes around, you're ready and you've got that money put aside.
Awesome. And that certainly connects to our essential skill of goal setting and how we're going to get there and figuring out what steps we need to take to accomplish the thing we want to do. So, Ellen, you talked to me a little bit about the aim of life, and it's kind of like a game. What is the aim of life? Can you talk a little bit more?
The aim of life helps you understand your money and, like I said, make your money work for you. So for a lot of you, why do you think you need money? Why is money important to you guys? Can they answer me that? Any ideas?
Students should be able to use the chat feature. Maybe teachers can type in what students shout out.
Let's see if we can get a couple of those answers up. For food, yes. For rent, yes. To have what we need. That's a big part right there about needs and wants. It's like, do you really need this thing that you're spending your money on, or do you just want it? And that's part of the hard decisions, because sometimes we see something really fun and shiny, like, like when you go to the grocery store and they put the candy bars right near where you're checking out, because you're going to see it at the last minute and go, oh yeah, okay, I got to have that candy bar. So it's like, do you really need that candy bar? Not necessarily, but you want it because it's right there and they're tempting you. So that's what part of financial literacy is about, is being able to find out what do you really need or what do you really want and make those smart decisions. That's great. How do you get money? Work, okay. A lot of working. Earning it, okay. A lot of working. Sometimes we do get it from a job, and sometimes those jobs, your parents, chores, yeah, with your allowance. So sometimes your parents, especially at your age right now, you can't really get a job yet. They won't let you work. And then there's kind of a difference between a job and a career. A job sometimes holds you over, like maybe as you get a little older, that summer job that's going to help you, whether you're scooping ice cream or working at the car wash, something like that, but not something you want to do forever. And then there's things you can work towards, like your career. So maybe you want to be a fireman, or you want to be a teacher, or you want to be a carpenter. You want to do something that, shows different results. Some people like being something like a carpenter, or because they can build something right away and see the accomplishment right away. Others like to do things more long-term, where every day they're doing something, like being a teacher. So every day they're passing that success along. And that's kind of the big differences with your money. Do you want to do something that's just going to give you instant gratification, that, oh, I ate my candy bar, so that was great, but now it's gone. My money's gone, my candy bar is gone. Or the fact that if you took the time and saved the money, set that goal, and then you reach that goal, and you know what? You're riding your bike all summer. So something to think about that way. And how do you guys take control of your money? What do you do to take control of your money when you get that $20 in your birthday card, or you've earned that money off your allowance? How do you take control of that? Okay, spend it, buy clothes, okay. Put it in a bank account, all right, save it, very good. Great, a couple said save it. That is pretend like you don't have it. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Sometimes you stash it so that you forget that you have it, and then hopefully it's there, or you remember where you stashed it. Nice thing about a bank account, and one of the nice things about it, for example, if you were to put it in a savings account, that savings account is going to earn you interest, which means that your money is going to grow while it's sitting there. And what happens is, like the credit union, we give you interest when you leave your money there. Once a month, you would get your statement, and you'd be able to see how your money's growing by just putting it in the bank. And that's a good way of growing your money. So something to think about is, if you got that $20 for your birthday, maybe you spend 10 and put 10 away, or you spend 15 and put 5 away. But always try to put a little bit away, because you never know. It's like, think of it almost like a mountain. So like, hopefully you're going to have a mountain of money, and down in the trenches will be your debt. You want to make sure you don't, I'm going to borrow $5 from my mom and I'm going to promise to pay her back the next time I get my money. And then I'm going to borrow $5 from my dad. And then you get that $10 and you're like, well, I got to pay back my debt, because my debt's really big like the mountain, but I don't have anything in my savings. So once I get that $10, guess what? It's gone, because you got to pay off your debt. So something to think about, always putting a little bit away. How do you guys set goals? Do you set goals for your money? Have any of you ever done that, where you thought about, I really want that video game, around, so you saved every time? How did you get to your goals? What did you do? No, you all just spend your money the minute you get it? Saved up from cards. Okay, that's good. Saved birthday money. Okay. Have tried but not succeeded. That is true. That it's hard to do, because you have the money, and like I said, you see that shiny thing, or that that when you're going out. So you have to decide, okay, I'm almost to my goal. I can almost go to my buy my bike. But then again, this new video game came out. So do I spend my money on that, or am I going to reach my ultimate goal of getting that bike, and what are you going to do? So sometimes it takes a little bit of self-restraint, where you're thinking, okay, and it's setting that goal and kind of thinking, what do I want to do? Do I want to have that long term, or do I want to just get that instant, oh, I ate my candy bar and I feel great right now, but I don't have my bike because I spent it on 100 candy bars, which is really easy to do because I love chocolate. So that would be one of my problems too. And is it always all about the money? I got someone saying, yes, it's always about the money. Or is it more about no, right. What are you going to get from that money? And is it about spending it on you? Or is it actually sometimes learning to keep it to share with someone else? Like, your mom's birthday's coming, or Christmas is coming. So maybe it'd be good to make that little stash. And then what happens? You can afford to buy everybody a little something. And that really makes a big difference in not only how your life and your security, but it also helps all those other people. So how do you think you stay out of trouble with money? Can you get into trouble with money? Yes, okay. How would you get into trouble with money? Can anybody give me an example? Tax fraud, yeah, that's not bad. By listening? I'm not quite sure what that one meant, but. Oh, yeah, listening to your parents, right? That's a good way to stay out of trouble. But how can you get into trouble? Credit card debt, that's true. Fake money, true. College loans, bad checks, true. Gambling, yeah, gambling could be bad. Right, so you have to think about the consequences when you decide to spend your money. So it might be fun. I know that a good consequence, I had 5 brothers growing up, and we used to gamble with our Halloween candy all the time. So that we didn't have money. But you'd win and you'd have all this candy, and then you'd end up with a stomach ache. So sometimes it wasn't always good to be the winner. So that's the kind of thing you have to think about too with your money, is that you have to spend it wisely and not, if your friend says, well, I'll lend you the money for lunch. Well, you have to remember, when you make that agreement, you have to pay back that debt. Debt can get you into trouble, like you said, with credit cards. You haven't started getting credit card offers in the mail, but it's something they usually do. Sometimes I see high school kids already getting those in the mail, and they make things sound very, very good, too good to be true, and sometimes that is. You have to make sure that you're ready to pay on time and pay your debts when you make that promise. And that helps not only financially, but it helps, I think, morally, when you make sure you see through on that promise. So one of the other things too, and it's something that you can think about with your parents, one of the things, a lot of different banks and financial institutions have different programs to help you earn extra money. For example, at DFCU, we have a great grades program. And when you get your report card, if you have an account with us and you get your report card, we will pay you for all your A's and B's. And what we do is we'll actually put it into your savings account. So if you have money in your savings account, it's a way that you can grow money. And so what's that showing? That's showing by you working hard and getting the grades. It's almost like getting paid for those good grades. But you can actually earn extra money that way. And there's a lot of different institutions that do different things like that. I know when you get into high school, there's actually a car dealership over that when you bring your report card in when you're a junior and senior, every year they give someone a car based on their great grades. So things you do every day can help you get to financial success. The same with when you're doing good with your great grades, so that you can get into a good technical school. If you want to be a plumber or a carpenter or that thing, or if you want to get into college, that can help you. And by getting those good grades, it helps you save financially, because you can get the scholarships, which saves you money, or you can get grants that you don't have to pay back. They give you the grant based on what you can, or they expect you to do on the promises you make. So I think that's an important part of money, is the promises that come with it, whether you promise to pay it back or you make a promise to yourself that you're really going to save. Does anybody have any other questions for me?
I just wanted to say that talking about those promises and having to pay money back, that sounds a lot like perseverance. So that's another one of our essential skills, right? Is you have to remember it's going to be something you're going to have to try hard at. So trying hard not to spend that money, even though it's right there and it would be easy. So perseverance is sticking through it and not spending that money, even though you have it. Yeah.
And in the long run, you're going to get a better return because you're not only going to get the extra money, but you're also going to get the satisfaction that you were able to save it and to keep that promise and that goal. There's nothing like making a goal and accomplishing it.
Exactly. And if you don't know quite what to do with your money, you can use the essential skill of leadership, and you can listen to people who maybe are a little bit better with your money. So someone said listening to their parents. That way your parents become leaders in your financial world, or listening to someone at a federal credit union. That could be a great idea. Yep.
Where should we? Okay, so we got one that says, where should we keep our money? Well, you can keep it in a savings account because, of course, right now you guys are too young to get a checking account. And the reason, does anybody know the reason why you're too young to get a checking account? The reason you're too young to get a checking account is when you write a check, you see your parents write a check to pay a bill and you sign your name, that's actually a legal contract. So you're actually making a legal contract that you're going to pay someone that money that you said. So that's where you're saying you get in trouble. We had someone had said before, if you have a bad check. Right, so someone writes you a bad check. So they write you the check and you expect that to be good. And then when you go there, the bank says, I'm sorry, this check isn't any good. They don't have this money in their account. Well, you've made a legal contract. And that's why with the savings account, the money goes in there and we made a contract with you to pay interest on your money, which we're going to do every month. And you made a contract that, you don't have that legal contract. So that's why you're allowed as a child to do a savings account. But that's a great place to start because as someone said, they hide their money. It's a good place to hide it because it's a little bit harder to get to than it just being in a box under your bed than if it's in the savings account. Do we have any other questions out there? Oh, there's a couple.
What are some of your goals? Does anyone have any savings goals, things they want to spend their money on soon? I see some hands raised. Maybe you can put them into the chat. A car.
A pet. Skateboard. Saving for college, yes. That never goes down. Saving for college is a good one. A hamster. A house. Yeah, it's kind of scary because you figure a car is one of the first major purchases you'll make, really big ones, and then a house is even bigger. So that gets kind of basketball jerseys and shoes, okay.
Yeah, so some big goals and some smaller goals. I do want to go back. There was a question. What is a good way to get money?
Yeah, we can ask that question to you guys. What at your age, what's a good way for you to get money? You have a few hands up there. Babysit, mowing lawns, getting a job, right? Work with parents around the house, cutting wood, that's a good one.
I know for myself, when I think I started either 13 or 14, so pretty close to your age, I started horse sitting for my neighbors because I rode horses and I knew their horses and they would go away on vacation. And so I would come and take care of them because that was something I knew I was already good at and they were able to pay me money.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Find something that you are good at or that you like to do. And that's a great way to start when you're first trying to start out. Because if you enjoy what you're doing as your job, if you like being outside, maybe mowing lawns is your thing. Or if you like kids, babysitting, or even just chores around the house, that's a good way to start with doing those extra chores for your parents. It's remembering that when you do get paid, that you save part of it. You always want to make yourself a little nest egg, as they would say, so that on that rainy, or they call it sometimes your rainy day fund. So if you get a day that, I'm not sure what I want to do, or I want to do something that comes up unexpected, you have that money there to be able to do it. Because maybe, you've got some money in your rainy day fund, you're not sure what you're saving it for, and all of a sudden your friend says, hey, you know what? My parents are going to the Great Escape. You want to go with us? But the tickets are like $40. Well, you know what? Maybe mom and dad doesn't have it, but you've got it in your rainy day fund. So it's something unexpected that you can enjoy because you've got that backup plan. It's always great to make a plan. So make a budget and a plan, especially if you have a goal in mind, big or small.
Any other questions for Ellen?
I've got one, couple. I saw a couple of hands, but I don't see any questions. Oh. It's kind of hard. I believe that if you're under 15, you really can't work. You can't really work a regular job. So sometimes places like helping deliver newspapers, or that used to be a job that I did when I was with my brothers when I was younger, or like the babysitting, or maybe having a neighbor that you can do some chores for. Maybe you can rake their lawn or mow their lawn, or maybe you can run up to the store for them. So sometimes with a relative or a neighbor, that's a great place to start since you're not old enough to really get a job yet.
Yep, and I see your working papers are 14 in New York. So
Okay.
remembering to use that as a goal is remembering that you need to get your working papers in, so you'll need to get those signed.
Okay.
Yep, and everything.
That's perfect. That's a good one, Chloe. Watering your neighbor's plants while you're on vacation. That's a great one. Volunteering to help out, because a lot of times that's how you can get. My very first job, part of a church group I was in as a kid. I started out we would help them cover their booth at the fair, and just to help man their station. And then that turned into a regular job for me later on because I got to know those people. So sometimes by doing those chores, volunteering to help, it can turn into a job.
All right, well, I think that's just about all the time we have, unless anyone has any last minute questions. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you learned a lot and learned about some things that maybe you can't quite do it with your money yet, but you can do it sometime in the future, and how all those essential skills fit in. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day, everyone.